What is up, my friends? Yes, sir. Another beautiful day on God's green earth. I want to go into something that's kind of confusing for me. I guess it might be confusing for a lot of others as well. Um, One thing I want to make sure that everybody understands is I'm not a religious freak or a religious fanatic. You know, I do believe in God. I know I believe in God because I walk with Him. But I'm not one of those guys who sits there and tries to beat into your mind that you need to follow God's plan or His work, because everybody has to find their own path in order to find who they are. Nobody else can lead the other person to their path. Heck, nobody else can get you into heaven. Only yourself. So with that being said, a couple of things that I want to address. The first thing is, you know, it's crazy to believe or crazy to even see, you know, same-sex marriages. You know, it's crazy to see, people that say they were born gay. You know, it's like a spit in his face. It's like if he was going to make people born gay or born like in the same sex, it wouldn't have been no purpose for the guy to make the opposite sex. What would be the purpose? He would just make a gang of one sex and that would have been it. So then there wouldn't have been no evolution of the woman. It would have just been all men, because like it says in the Bible, man was the first thing that He created, which was Adam. Well, not first thing created, because it was the animals and the earth, and like He said, let there be light. But Adam was the first human that was created. There wouldn't have been no reason for Him to make women if people were supposed to be born gay. I mean, that makes no sense to me at all. And then to top all that off, what would have been the purpose of Him destroying Sodom and Gomorrah? I mean, that was one of the main things. Yes, they were trying to have sex with the angels, but before then, the reason why that place was cursed is because they kept saying it was giant orgies, no respect of God, men having sex with men, women having sex with women. Why would He have destroyed that if He knowingly was going to later on down the road make people born gay? No sense. But moving forward from there, one of the main reasons I wanted to post today was last night I was listening to some YouTube music, and the group, I know it was Escape, and it really hit I guess you say a button with me, or a point with me. It was nothing against the song. I love the song. What it was she kept saying, who does she run to share the empty pain in her heart? Now, God says, come to me whenever you have pain, put it into my hands, whenever you have pain. But at the same time, it was a reason why God had created two races, physical, because He knows spiritually He has you. When you walk this plane, He has you. But when you break down and you need compassion or somebody to touch or feel physically, that's why He created your opposite sex. So that song makes total sense to me, because she may have been single, lost everything that she cared about, everybody she cared about, the person who she wanted to fall in love or be with for the rest of her life, and she lost that. So with that being lost, she really didn't know what she could do or who she could run to, because she had nobody. Dude, I understand that to the fullest, because I've made plenty of mistakes with the opposite sex. I'm not saying my kids are a mistake. They would never be a mistake, but it was almost like it was a mistake for me to lay down with the person I had them with, because I went through nothing but pain and turmoil and strife, lost everything I had. But, it's not her fault. It was my fault. It's called holding on to something that isn't yours anymore. You're only destroying yourself. You understand? Yeah, sometimes you have to learn how to let things go. And it's hard because you be totally involved emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But you have to pray to the Lord to help you release those chains that bind you. Once you become free, you can re-find yourself again. Move forward, do something better with yourself. You cannot help your family or your kids if you're depressed or destroyed. A battle can only be won by people who believe they can win this war. And with that being said, I went through a 3-year battle trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this person that I care about. And I'm like, dude, 2 years into it, you still ain't figured out if you want to be with me or not. I'm thinking I need to take some of my own medicine, look in the mirror, and do what I just said to do. Sometimes you got to let things go that isn't yours. And the reason why you got to do that is because you're only destroying yourself. You're belittling yourself and you're hurting yourself by holding on to something that isn't yours. Maybe that blessing is meant for somebody else. Stop trying to hold on to someone else's blessings. And that reminds me of something else I'm going to post later to you guys that I learned while I was in jail and while I was reading that book last night, because I went through a little bit of ups and downs of my own depression, so I had to grab that book and pray. Because, hey, life is hard. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. Nobody can walk on water all day. Well, unless your name is Jesus. But if you're not, you can't walk on water all day. You have to walk with him, hand in hand, next to him. And sometimes we walk ahead of him and lose track of where we are. So, with that being said, you guys stay blessed. Don't do nothing faulty. Like I said, I worked for the airport. I've seen things take off all the time. But being faulty to others is never going to fly. Stay beautiful, my friends.